through our week-long hyper accelerator this year. They have grown and changed a lot since then. And as I said, persistently they asked us to be on stage today. And I like persistence. You know, I don't think you do anything without being persistent. You know, very rarely do you actually just, hey, I made this thing and the whole world, you know, just because you make a better mousetrap doesn't mean the world is going to beat it back to your doorstep, especially in healthcare. Okay, you usually have to beat the door down. So you guys did that with me today, so thank you for making that effort. You guys ready? Everybody's all caught up? Okay, so this is Check with Ellie. The last team was social worker, and that's social without the E at the end, social worker, right? So, okay, so it's at social worker. I like that. Dropping the E is a good thing. Anyway, yeah, I think the E stands for expensive. Anyway, so come on up, Atil. You got your mic, you got your little clicker thing. Okay, you got his 5 minutes on. Okay, ready, go.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Atin Mitra. I'm here from Ellie. First, I want to ask you guys, how many of you have woken up to the sound of a crying baby? Show of hands. Okay, yeah. So you'll understand when I tell you that one night, a mom we spoke with woke up to that sound. It was 2 a.m., 3 days after she had given birth, and her newborn daughter woke up because she was hungry. And as she went to go breastfeed her daughter, she felt a slight pain in her chest. Not sure what was going on. Because it was 2 a.m., she did what many moms in that situation do, and she read a lot of mom blogs. Now, 30 minutes later, she still didn't feel confident in the information she was getting and felt even more stressed out than when she had started. She started blaming herself and ultimately lost confidence in her ability to breastfeed. And this is a story we kept hearing over and over again. There was a larger foundational need that we uncovered, which was that new moms need access to credible and immediate breastfeeding information so they can feel in control of the welfare of their child from birth. And this isn't just from the moms we've spoken to. The CDC concluded that 67% of women who set any kind of breastfeeding goal fail to meet it. 67%. And more broadly in America, of the 3.2 million moms who try to breastfeed, only about a quarter of those end up making the 6-month mark, which is the recommended amount of time by every health association in America. Now this represents two large insights here. Both that people are failing to meet their own personal goals and that we are failing to meet public health goals. So this is a large issue. That's why we created Ellie. Ellie is a virtual breastfeeding assistant. So it's a chatbot that moms can speak with 24/7 on Facebook Messenger, and it'll help them identify what problem they're having, gives them an immediate solution for pain alleviation, and can connect them to a lactation specialist for HIPAA-secure video consultation. Now the market for this kind of thing right now is about $100 million for lactation consultations in America, and that's before the advent of telemedicine has really going to uptick this number. From a baby product consumer good market, it's about $45 billion in America, and that number is supposed to double by 2025 globally. Now, why we're different. So our competition is really doubling down on telemedicine, and we believe that this is an innovation that will help a lot of the moms we're looking to help. Although we believe that this is only an incremental part of the solution, because that only provides greater access to care, but still puts the onus on the mom to take care of herself and identify when she has her own problems. What we want to do at Ellie is flip that model, because the United States Lactation Consultant Association estimates that there would need to be about 25,000 more consultants in America to keep up with the demand. So we can't just throw more professionals at this problem. At Ellie, what we're doing is, at the core of it is a technological solution, and we're flipping the model where we want to cater to moms. We don't want to have to, we live in a world where moms have to first take care of the child, figure out they're having a problem, then figure out where to go find a solution, and then figure out if they can afford it. We want to start that whole problem, we want to start that whole, we want to flip the model. And we're doing that with something we're excited to talk about today, which is called the Ellie Care Program. Now the Ellie Care Program works by getting a mom to identify her breastfeeding goals before she gives birth. And so we get what her breastfeeding goal is, as well as 17 key health indicators that we can, we'll put through an algorithm that will allow us to understand her likelihood of achieving that goal. Once we can segment up her likeliness of achieving that goal, Ellie will be able to customize the information as well as the care we'll be able to route to that woman. So through check-in notifications as well as lactation, hopefully interventions by identifying key behaviors that are risky, we can hopefully continue to help new moms breastfeed. And there's a pilot we're running right now with the NYU Public Health Department. So our team is full of really passionate people. We work with some great lactation consultants. We're all passionate about solving this problem. And if you are also passionate and excited about what we're working on, we'd love for you to join us. We're looking to partner with pediatricians and OBs. We're creating a medical advisory board at this time, and we're looking to raise about $500,000. Thank you.
Great job. I'm going to ask the first question. Is it a paid pilot?
What's that?
Is it a paid pilot with
Yes.
NYU? What are they paying? Roughly.
What's it?
So give me an idea. Are you making money on it, or is it?
Yeah. So the model is that the moms would have the ability to actually get a lactation consultation, which would be paid. So yeah, to us. Yeah. So helping us fund that.
Yeah, does Ellie provide medical advice, and have you anticipated the cost of your medical negligence insurance?
Yeah. So we have terms of service, which are that we are not providing medical advice. We're not doctors. We're providing education, and so that's upfront. Yeah.
How many people are, how many users do you have in the system?
So the troubleshooting bot that we've launched about 5 months ago. We've had about 1,000 users go through it so far.
And did you collect any metrics on,
Yeah.
on results?
Yeah. So we have so the last 5 months have really been dedicated at answering a lot of the questions that we have. So monetization features, content, things like that. So we're at a place now where after we've processed 1,000 users, we have a better understanding of what people want, how often they want it, and how we will kind of build this as a scalable solution.
So after the pilot, who will be the paying customer? The mother or the network they're part of, or?
Yeah, so the pilot is really in between from what we currently have and the program we want to build. So the program would work on a subscription-based model. So once we understand where a mom is and what she wants to achieve, we'll be able to use that information to layer in lactation consultation visits or video calls, as well as product recommendations and things of that nature. So the real thing we're trying to prove is that if we can hit a higher success rate than the 67% that CDC concluded, and so that's what we're really focusing on right now, making sure that our health outcomes can improve based on this model.
And they're connected with an actual person?
Yeah.
And the person's training is lactation consultant?
Yep, so Ellie's a robot, and then the consultants we work with are all IBCLCs, which is the highest level of lactation consultant accreditation that there is.
Do you have competitors, and if they're minimal, then what types of similar applications have you looked at and what's their success?
Sure. So we do have competitors. Like I said, we have a lot of people who are getting into the telemedicine space for a variety of different kind of medical professional connections. And like I said, they are starting to get in the market, and it is exciting. But what we see is that that's part of the problem, right? So the problem isn't that people are excited to go to see a lactation consultant or that they're excited to go see a doctor, right? The problem is that they just want to breastfeed. That's it. They don't have to talk to anybody. They don't want to. But the core of the problem is that they don't know how to, and that there's no real way to get there. And so we're solving a more fundamental problem, which is moms don't know how to even get there.
So have you looked into collaborating, if I get this wrong, moms, please don't, maybe the Leche League or some of the other large breastfeeding organizations that might be out there as a potential course of distribution? And then the issue is, are you a loss leader for the lactation consultants? You know, a free app with, a plug-in that gets them a lactation consultant, and you get the fee on that end, or are you charging the moms $5 or $10 to buy the app or something, or where how do you see the? I mean, I can see this being very generally distributed. It's very straightforward. I can also see you adding multiple vectors with your chatbot leads to expert protocol, which I think is a nice substantive differentiation for you. But where do you plan to do it?
Definitely. The first part of that, the channel partnerships, we're looking to create partnerships. We have spoken with La Leche League, and we're in contact with the leader of that here in New York, as well as pediatricians, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and OBs. The second part of it was, sorry, could you repeat the second part?
Other verticals.
Other verticals. So Yeah, I mean, so the other verticals we're looking at, right now we're just focusing on breastfeeding and specifically lactation consultations. Oh, the other part of your question was, are we a loss leader? For the lactation consultation in New York, to get about an hour and a half session is about $400. That's in person. And that lactation consultant will have to travel from wherever they are. So we've spoken with lactation consultants who've said that they have to spend 2 hours traveling just to get to the woman's house. And so that's a large profit or revenue loss for them. So what we're doing is we're promising, we're not going into in-person visits. What we're doing is we're saying, hey, if you have 5 hours, set up 10 consultations with us, you'll be able to make the same amount of money from your home without ever getting on the subway. And that's an attractive offer to moms and to consultants because we're able to cut costs compared to the in-person visit for the consult.
You get a cut of that revenue stream?
Yes, we do.
Are there any metrics on the incremental benefit that your app has provided over those 1,000 patients compared to what was previously existing?
So the initial MVP we launched was essentially to test our hypothesis. Is this an answer to that woman's story? And so through the 1,000 people we're doing user testing, we're also getting metrics. So what we know is from testimonials and feedback that we've gotten, it has been positive. A lot of moms have been really excited to share it on Facebook, and so our NPS scores are increasing.
And just, so that he's asking medical economics. He's asking medical economics questions, and I think it's really important to be able to show. Is lactation consulting a reimbursed expense through an insurance plan or Medicare? And if so, would a telemedicine visit qualify for reimbursement?
It is reimbursed. Telemedicine is becoming more reimbursed. However, lactation consultations are only a fraction if you're going to get reimbursed for the actual consult. So, for example, estimate it's about $40 reimbursed by Medicare, and so it's not. We're primarily focusing on out-of-pocket right now. Thank you.
I had a quick question before you go. Did you look at collaborating with or creating, linking with Evenflow or any of those breast pump manufacturers? Because
Judy.
You know the.
sorry. Hi, Judy George was able to collaborate help.
We're also out of time, so.
Thank you. You can ask the question during the break.
Oh.
I'll be right. Thank you.
Okay, so that concludes our pitch contest. Sorry, we had a little bit of a late switch, so thank you, Judge.